Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Javen Mills here with another video. Where to begin? More than likely, I've been just gonna start out with this statement and statement alone. Battlefield 6 is in fact Call of Duty, just with a new coat of paint, maybe reskinned, a different title, but for the design factor and abilities and options within Battlefield 6, yes, Battlefield 6 is in fact maybe a bad iteration of Call of Duty. And I say this because for the first time in a whole match, I played the Assault class while using the Assault class. And it never felt more like a Call of Duty game the moment I used the Assault class. It may be a little different using Engineer, it may be a little different using Support, but I will say after using the Assault class for a whole match, it's in fact Call of Duty. I mean, most of the time I ran around getting kills. Yes, I played some of the objective. And like I always advocate, play how you want. You don't have to play the objective if you don't want to. It doesn't matter. Don't let other people tell you how you should play a video game and how you should enjoy a video game. I stand by that. Um, and I will say, just as a frame of reference, if you run out of ammunition, right, and you're looking to a bot who's using engineer support with the ammunition box or whatever, sometimes they don't register that you're requesting ammunition, so just keep that in mind. I made that mistake and got myself killed, but that's neither here nor there. But I will say that I would have rather played recon with an assault rifle. Yes, I understand it's not the signature weapon for the recon class, but I the more that I played, mind you, I felt time and time again I could have just been playing Call of Duty. I could have been playing Battlefield 4. I could have been playing Battlefield 3, assuming that there were still available servers right now, which there are. There's some dedicated, fan community servers still active in Battlefield 3. We can get it working. Um, but yeah, yeah, dude. The whole time I played this match this morning, I just felt like I could be playing Battlefield. I could either be playing Battlefield 4. I mean, that's kind of my bread and butter. I do enjoy Battlefield 4. Again, I'm primarily use the Recon class, but I also realize the Recon class isn't locked behind signature weapons or proficiencies or what have you, right? I mean, there are certain benefits that they get, but they get it throughout, across the way. And then the other thing is they're riddled with bots. Like there were some live players in this match, but I realized it's riddled with bots, and the funny thing is that it goes back to 2016 where Call of Duty Activision wanted to, or had the patent that they had the idea that they're going to fill multiplayer lobbies with bots, and then when live players come in, those bots will be replaced by live players. And that was probably on the scale of maybe 12v12, 6v6, 32v32 for ground war, right? At least back then. We're talking about 32v32, 64 players in total, conquest mode in Battlefield, and there are probably more bots than there are live players. And mind you, this is not this isn't Portal. This is a official server. Why there's so many bots? I thought there were 300 plus thousand players, and you mean to tell me at any given time you can't fill a lobby prioritizing live players over bots? I understand if there's not enough to fill a server, but this is a brand new game, and if you mean to tell me right here, right now, that there are not enough players to fill a conquest match, then that is a clear indication that there more than likely is in fact skill-based matchmaking. Because I played a game before and it was completely just lopsided. So, and mind you, my KD in score per minute is high as hell. It's 7.0 plus, and then on top of that, my score per minute is about 700,000 plus. So I don't know if that's good, I don't know if that's bad, but I'm pretty sure it plays a part overall of my overall experience. And maybe it's because I'm playing the assault class because I primarily play the recon class. Maybe it's my match is skewed. Maybe I have no idea. Maybe the reason why I played so well the way that I did and came across more bots is because I finally played a whole match with the assault class, even though I primarily use recon. Who's to say? But I will say, somewhere along the line, it makes sense that, of course, not Blizzard, DICE, Battlefield wouldn't announce that they have any sort of manipulation or skill-based matchmaking because it would be bad PR and a lot of people probably would leave. But it's neither here nor there because people already left. They already lost how many players since 740,000 plus players, active players. Now they're down to 300,000. Some people will say, oh well, people only play on the weekends. Not the case. People play throughout the whole day. It doesn't really matter neither here nor there. Maybe throughout the weekend, maybe towards the evening, people play a lot of video games. Hell, even Tim the Tap Man and all these other streamers and gamers typically play in the evening. So that, again, the devil's in the details. And if we're already sitting at for Battlefield 6 with roughly on at least on Steam 300,000 plus players, then that means that come the 28th, which we're not too far off, about a week or so, then that also means, or about a week to 2 weeks, that also means that the next time we have a content drop, and that's roughly every 3 weeks, we'll see an uptick in player count. Now, I was watching Simon V, one of his YouTube videos, and it said this exact same thing. This is actually pre-planned. It doesn't take rocket science to figure that out, because as a company, and we've seen it with Call of Duty, we've seen it with Fortnite, we've seen it across the board. Almost every day or every week, Fortnite has content drops, right? It's to retain players, it's to keep players interested, and to keep players playing. And it makes sense because we live in a world where everyone has the attention span of essentially 5 seconds. If they're not stimulated, if they don't have a dopamine hit, they're going to get bored. And that's just the day and age with this young generation that we live in. C'est la vie. It's what we do. It's the world we live in. It's the same thing as the reason why that there's content drops every 3 weeks with Battlefield 3. This is why on the 28th we're getting 2 new maps, a pistol we should have had at launch, these other maps that we should have had at launch, and a new sniper, right? This is stuff that should have already been in the game, but I don't think that Battlefield DICE EA can really depend on not post-launch, but pre-launch content to sustain the player base, and it's very clear that they couldn't. If Battlefield launched with their whole catalog of maps, so let's say by the end of its life cycle, let's just hypothetically, 2 years, let's say in 2 years, they'll have about additional 20 maps. This means that Battlefield 6 would have launched with 29 maps, and then after the fact, they would have had maybe another 20 maps. So this means in total that Battlefield 6 would have roughly, hypothetically, 40 to 80 maps. Double that. Why not? I mean, this whole game is technically on the cloud and technically online based only. So there should not be a whole lot of limitations of what can and cannot be as far as maps and stuff like that, as far as content, right? So it's not necessarily a notion where it's like, well, okay, well, it takes up too much space in people's PC, it takes up too much space in people's PlayStation or Xbox. I understand that. But here's the kicker. If you can launch 9 maps, and by the end of its life cycle in the next year, in 2020, we're at 2025, so 2026, we have maybe 30 maps. If that's all you can do, then that's pretty lame. Not gonna lie. Modern Warfare 2019 ended its life cycle with damn near 40-something odd maps. You mean to tell me that Battlefield can't even do that? Come on, you're slacking. And it's funny because the design of Battlefield 6 does cater to Call of Duty players. It's at this point, it's a fact. It's not speculation. The moment you see the way that it plays, how Conquest is. No helicopters, mostly tanks, right, of different variety, of maybe 2 or 3 different varietals, right, 2 different types. But beyond that, it's Call of Duty. It's essentially this Conquest map that I'm playing is Grozny Raid on Ground War from Call of Duty 2019, Modern Warfare 2019. Because Grozny Raid, one of the kill streaks in Grozny Raid, because it's such a large map, and it's even in multiplayer, you can call in a tank. So technically, this map right here that I'm playing, Cairo, or Egypt, yeah. So is essentially Grozny Raid on a slightly larger scale with tanks. So this is essentially Grozny Raid from Modern Warfare 2019, but the only difference is it's not a kill streak. So what am I actually playing? If I could make 2 parallels here and then actually turn them into a connection, what does that tell you? Because what was the gripes of way back when in Modern Warfare 2019 and Grozny Raid? Oh, it was so porous, so many people could spawn trap. There was sniper glints. There was too many windows, too many doors. Yet here we are playing this map using the assault class with tanks. Do you see where I'm getting at this point? People hated on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019, especially in Grozny Raid. And there were complaints where it was too porous, too many windows, too many doors. Yet here we are playing in Battlefield 6, too many windows, too many doors, grip load of destruction, tanks. Some of you content creators in Call of Duty are straight up hypocrites, chills, whatever you want to call it. But in the same vein, what does Battlefield 6 do that Call of Duty doesn't? So I can use a sniper, it's considered a recon class, yet I can use a sniper and I don't need to be locked into a specific class. Oh, well, the recon class specialists or recon class, support class, assault class, and engineer have specialists attached to them. Okay, well, I can call in a UAV. Oh, recon can call in a UAV. Oh, well, the assault class has additional armor and mobility. Oh, well, there's a perk for that in Call of Duty anyway. And I think in Call of Duty Vanguard, there was actually a field upgrade where you get a little bit of armor. So make it make sense. What am I playing here? What am I actually playing? It's a possibility that, and I know I may get flack from this, but there's a possibility that DICE EA for Battlefield 6 is losing its identity, no different than Call of Duty. Everything that Battlefield 6 does is the same thing that Call of Duty does, and vice versa, just implemented differently. Oh, Assault Engineer hits the ability to heal players. Okay, well, it's the same case. You can get a field upgrade, or use a perk, or use a vest that we found in Modern Warfare 3, the suppressant vest. Okay, if you capture an objective, if you get kills, you regenerate your health faster. Oh, well, gee, that almost sounds like a revive. Okay, now if you're in a down state, oh, well, there's a perk in Warzone. If you're in a down state, you can revive faster. I forgot what the perk was. It's the same thing. Okay, the recon class has the ability to see enemy field up, not enemy field upgrades, but enemy gadgets and stuff like that behind walls, and you can destroy them. Oh, that almost sounds like sit rep or engineer. See what I'm saying at this point? Oh, you can move faster. You can tack sprint. Well, you can't tack sprint in here, but you can move faster. You get 15% more agility in one of the perks for the assault class. Potato. So again, when I say that Battlefield 6 doesn't distinguish themselves away from Call of Duty, I mean that. And I will say the one time where it did distinguish itself and separate itself from Call of Duty was Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. In Battlefield 1, I would go as far as to say Battlefield Hardline, you know? Somewhat Battlefield 2042, but they went the route of not even having a campaign. The same thing that Call of Duty did at one point, and that was a big mistake for Battlefield or Call of Duty 4, Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 didn't have a campaign. Battlefield 2042 didn't have a campaign, and look at how that turned out. They got a lot of flack. People didn't like it, but people still played it, right? I mean, if you're a fan of just first-person shooters and gaming in general, you're going to play games. You're going to play whatever you fancy, whatever you want to. And the thing is that if this is the route that we're going, whereas you're never going to own the game that you buy. If people paid $100 for the Phantom Edition or $70, not including tax, with the standard edition for Battlefield, just know you don't own anything. I mean, the dude slid right into my crosshairs. So that's something that you would typically find in Call of Duty. It's no different. And the thing is that I don't know what people expect from the sellouts of Call of Duty content creators. And the thing is that if I have to be the person to kind of call them out, then fine. I don't really want to. It takes a lot of my energy away, right? But in the same vein, the bloom is real, and I didn't notice it until I actually played the assault class. And mind you, you have to play a certain way for me, and this is the reason why I stuck with the recon class for so long, or at least as long as I did, because I believe that for the recon class, you got to play meticulously. You have to play methodically. Slow it down a little bit. You can't always be aggressive. You can, but it's not ideal. It's just not how a scout or a recon for reconnaissance would operate, right? But once I switched up my gameplay, I can do that. People say, "Oh, get good scrub or adapt or what have you." Okay, I could assault, infantry, run and gun. It's not a hard concept to understand. So I did, and I realized this is exactly why I chose not to play the assault class. This is exactly why, because I knew I couldn't necessarily do that as a recon class. So the moment I do this, I realize, my goodness, yes, I get it. I fully understand. This is, in fact, pretty much Call of Duty. And this is a moderately sized map, right? So notice how in my previous gameplay, I don't play like this with the recon class, but oh my goodness, if the veil wasn't taken over my eyes, like I knew self-consciously and I just knew because of the map design and the gameplay style, the way it was developed. Anyone who says that Battlefield 6 is not on par with Call of Duty or Battlefield 6 caters, doesn't cater to Call of Duty, they are lying through their damn teeth, and excuse my French, because they are. And the funny thing is, I don't blame them. Maybe they're being lied to and they're easily manipulated. Maybe they just don't know any better. Maybe they're young, dumb, and stupid. High school kids. Maybe they're just young and naive. Fine. So be it. You're dumb. You don't know any better. When you grow up, and maybe you'll get a wake up call. Maybe. Okay. I mean, there's people who don't mature over the years, and it is what it is. There's people who just stay dumb. That's okay too. But the thing is, when people are out here telling you the truth and you don't like it, don't shun them or belittle them because you don't like the reality of certain things or you're too naive and blind to the facts of life. Battlefield 6, yes, caters to Call of Duty. Battlefield 6, yes, plays like Call of Duty because the I just made the comparison. Rise and a Raid, Modern Warfare 2019, Cairo, Siege of Cairo. Yeah, it's one and the same. One and the same. And the funny thing is, jets and helicopters may not really play well on this map. Consider it this way. Look at how much cover there is right now on this map. So, do you really think it's ideal to have jets and stuff like that on this map? Probably not. Maybe something along the lines like a UAV, sure, that's fine. But commander mode wouldn't be a bad idea. Or for example, you know how like in Battlefield Hardline, how they had the hacker, so to speak, which is another variation of the commander mode. Well, why not put like I don't know spy cams or gas canisters somewhere in certain like I guess alleyways and rooms or something like that. So there's a lot of businesses in here. I mean, Cairo isn't essentially outrightly poor or a decent or anything like that. So at that same notion, we'll put like I don't know cameras. I'm sure by now they probably have ring cameras or something like that or sensors. Like make the flow more risky. You know what I mean? So at this point, like dude, I went from one side of the map to the other. That's crazy, crazy fast. Anywho, but it's just am I having fun? No. If I'm being honest, no. And the thing is because it's more or less the same. Like in my experience right now, I can't. The way that I'm playing now, I'm not likely to ever play like this in Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. More than likely, Battlefield Hardline because it was close quarters, fast paced. It was cops versus robbers. That's just how it was designed to. You couldn't play like this. I mean, you could, but not necessarily or effectively unless the map design called for it in Battlefield 2042 because a lot of Battlefield 2042's launch maps were very open. So I mean there were close quarter moments, but not everything necessarily was close quarters like Battlefield 6. So and it's funny, I got killed by that tank. Did you know that it's the same tank that they use in Call of Duty in Modern Warfare 2019. It's one of the kill streaks you can call it in Grozny Raid. Yeah. Anywho, so, but no. Overall, it's just I'm seeing a lot, and I mean a lot of parallels. So, doesn't mean it's a bad game. No, it just means it's catered for. It's to fill the void that clearly maybe Call of Duty players have wanted over the couple years, and it seems like Activision, Microsoft are making some changes, but it was already planned. It's the same thing, how to retain players even now. The reason why come the 28th and why roughly every 3 weeks we're getting probably 2 to 3 new maps, we're getting new pistols, we're getting new guns, new LMGs, yada yada yada, new everything is because it's to retain players. If we're already dropping in from 740,000 players now down to 300,000 plus players, what that means is that EA probably already anticipated the loss of player count, so that's why they have additional content being launched come the 28th. I think it's like what 2 new maps or another map or something like that. Mind you, it's every 3 weeks. We're getting a battle royale, which yeah, that's great. That's what the streamers wanted. People are blaming Call of Duty streamers because they don't want Battlefield 6 to be ruined. Motherfucker, it's already ruined. Do you not see how Battlefield 6 plays? It already caters to Call of Duty players. That was their target audience. Battlefield 6 was not designed to satiate or to attract current day or veterans of the Battlefield franchise. It just wasn't. Like if I was in a business and I was looking at the best possible outcome as from a business standpoint, yeah. Look at that. We have Call of Duty diehard fans in Wales asking for change in Call of Duty, and Microsoft Activision isn't doing anything. Let's capitalize on them. And guess what? Our veterans of Battlefield want a new Battlefield. They want something grounded. So if veterans of Battlefield want the same thing Call of Duty players want, how do we make it work? Okay, let's give more variety now. Let's design our maps, cater to Call of Duty players, and then once we get them roped in, then we'll focus on our tried and true, fans of Battlefield. We'll do Operation Metro, but we won't do it immediately. We'll put Firestorm there, just to ease the pain just a little bit. From a business standpoint, actually, that's brilliant. That is honestly brilliant, and I applaud EA for capitalizing on both. It's just unfortunately they put the current day tried and true vets of Battlefield on the back burner for the sake of making sure that they can capitalize on current day Call of Duty fans. And I believe they were successful. There are those players who obviously saw the BS and left. There are already those who were banned, and I'm sure that's part of the player count too. So we went from 700,000 plus players down to 300,000. I'm sure a good chunk of them were cheaters. I'm sure a good chunk of them just up and left because they saw the BS and they just didn't like what they saw. Makes perfect sense. Otherwise, this is Yagan Mills. This was my rant. I hope this helped you open your eye, open your third eye of just how everything is working at this point. But otherwise, remember always, peace be with you, and you have yourself a wonderful day. Catch you on the next one. Ciao, guys.